Hello my dear friends. You are on the Line of Fire channel, and in this video, we are going to discuss the most important events that took place during the previous 12 hours. We have a lot of very interesting updates, so let's start. First, we are going to talk about the United States of America. During the previous night, we received several very important statements made by the former President of the United States, Donald Trump. He published on his social network that he spoke with the President of Mexico. According to Trump, it was a very friendly conversation in which the President of Mexico agreed to immediately deploy 10,000 Mexican soldiers to the border separating Mexico and the United States. These soldiers will be specifically assigned to stop the flow of fentanyl and illegal migrants into the United States. Furthermore, both sides agreed to immediately pause the anticipated tariffs for a one-month period, during which negotiations will take place, led by Secretary of State Marco Rubio and other U.S. authorities. Trump also added that he looks forward to participating in these negotiations with the President of Mexico as they attempt to reach an agreement between the United States and Mexico. This is a very important statement, and later, we received confirmation from the President of Mexico. She confirmed that she had negotiations with Donald Trump and that an agreement was reached. The President of Mexico stated that she had agreed with U.S. President Donald Trump to delay the 25% tariffs on Mexican goods for up to 1 month. In exchange, Mexico will reinforce its northern border with 10,000 National Guard troops to prevent drug trafficking, specifically fentanyl, from entering the United States. This is a crucial development, and I would like to remind you that when Donald Trump first announced these tariffs, we saw an immediate reaction in the financial markets. The situation for the Mexican peso and the Canadian dollar became critical, and both currencies crashed following Trump's announcement about the tariffs. Now, let's discuss the situation between the U.S. and Canada, as it appears that the situation between these two countries has also been resolved. Donald Trump made another significant statement, saying that Canada will receive U.S. military protection and avoid trade tariffs if it becomes the 51st state. However, Canada did not accept this proposal. Despite that, the tariffs announced on Saturday will be postponed for 30 days to allow negotiations for a final economic deal with Canada. As you can see, the United States is no longer talking about Canada becoming the 51st state but rather about an economic deal. What kind of deal will be reached? We will find out in about a month. Furthermore, the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, confirmed this information and the ongoing negotiations. He stated that the United States would suspend import duties on goods from Canada for 30 days. This is a significant decision. According to him, Ottawa is taking on new obligations to protect the border and combat drug trafficking and has promised to spend almost $1 billion on these efforts. Of course, we can see that, following the fall of Panama into U.S. hands, Mexico and Canada are now aligning with the U.S. as well. At this point, they cannot resist these developments. However, the most important updates are coming from Mexico. During the past 24 hours, several U.S. intelligence aircraft were spotted patrolling the Mexican shoreline. U.S. Navy P-8A Poseidon Maritime Patrol and Surveillance Aircraft from Naval Air Station Jacksonville is currently patrolling the U.S. Mexico border between Brownsville and Laredo, Texas. Another intelligence aircraft, a Rivet Joint Signals Intelligence Platform from Offutt Air Force Base in Nebraska, is operating within Mexican airspace over the Gulf of California between Baja California Sur, Sonora, and Sinaloa. This is a very significant development. The United States is actively monitoring and collecting intelligence data, most likely regarding Mexican cartels. While we cannot confirm with 100% certainty, there is a very high chance that the United States is preparing to launch an anti-terrorist operation on Mexican territory, supported by the 10,000 troops deployed along the U.S.-Mexico border. So, let's wait and see what happens next. More details and important updates are coming soon. Today, for example, the Europeans reported that they are ready to fight against the United States of America. At least, this is the information we received from Germany. Reports indicate that not just Germany, but also Macron and Scholz, have stated their readiness to impose tariffs on the United States if Trump does so first. Yesterday, for example, Olaf Scholz had a meeting with the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Keir Starmer. They confirmed and agreed on the same stance. So, most likely, Europe is not going to accept the demands of the United States of America. Furthermore, when talking about Europe, the European Union has a powerful tool it can use against the United States, and the most important leverage in this potential economic conflict is Russian gas. If the United States increases pressure on European countries, there is a strong possibility that European nations will unblock the Russian gas supply to Europe. This could be a serious blow to U.S. interests in Europe. For now, we don't see any concrete actions, just discussions and talks, but it is clear that European countries have a way to blackmail the United States in this matter. Now, let's discuss the situation in Ukraine. We have received several important political updates, and the most significant is a new statement made by the President of the United States. He told reporters today that talks are ongoing between the U.S. and Ukraine regarding the supply of critical rare earth metals to the United States as payment for the billions of dollars in aid sent to Ukraine for its war effort against Russia. Ukraine, which has large deposits of uranium, lithium, and titanium, is reportedly open to the deal. According to Trump, the U.S. Special Envoy to Ukraine, Keith Kellogg, is set to visit Ukraine sometime this month. This is a very important development, and just a few hours after Trump made this statement, Ukrainian authorities confirmed the information. The Ukrainians reported that Trump's statement on rare earth metals is part of their victory plan. They emphasized that Ukraine possesses special resources, and it is crucial that they do not fall into the hands of Russia. That is why Zelensky proposed that these resources be allocated specifically to key partners. This is a strategic move, but there is a major issue with this plan. Currently, 70% of Ukraine's rare earth metal reserves are concentrated in 3 regions: Donetsk, Dnipropetrovsk, and Luhansk. Donetsk and Luhansk are on the verge of being fully captured by Russia. Luhansk is already almost completely under Russian control. Only Dnipropetrovsk remains under Ukrainian control, but Russian forces are actively advancing in this direction. Over the past few days, Russian forces have made significant progress in this area. For example, in the New York direction, within the previous 24 hours, reports from both pro-Russian and pro-Ukrainian sources indicate that Russian forces have significantly improved their positions and have taken full control of the village of Soldar. At this point, the distance between Russian forward positions and the Ukrainian-controlled border is less than 10 kilometers. This is precisely the region where rare earth metals are concentrated, and Ukraine still controls them. It is highly unlikely that Russia will allow Ukraine and the United States to gain access to these resources. For this reason, it is expected that the U.S. will continue supporting Ukraine in exchange for these critical resources. U.S. military aid to Ukraine. Today, we also received an important confirmation regarding this matter. For example, U.S. arms deliveries to Ukraine resumed over the weekend. Earlier, these deliveries had been suspended as the Trump administration debated its policy toward Kyiv. According to information obtained by Reuters from U.S. administration officials, there are internal divisions within the White House over the level of support the U.S. should continue providing to Ukraine. Some factions question whether the U.S. should keep supplying weapons from its stockpiles, while others argue that continued support is necessary. It is expected that Ukraine will repeatedly face uncertainty regarding its access to military aid in the future. Nevertheless, with the recent resumption of arms deliveries, Zelensky can breathe a sigh of relief and continue military operations. Ukrainian military movements. In terms of military action, Russian sources report that Ukrainian forces are continuing to concentrate troops in the vicinity of Kharkiv. Military analysts believe that, within the next several days, weeks, or months, Ukraine may attempt to launch an offensive against Russian forces in Kharkiv. The objective would be to push Russian forces back from this region and, potentially, cross the border into Russian territory to continue advancing northward. However, Russian intelligence suggests that Ukrainian troops in this area are highly demotivated, with many consisting of former prisoners who do not want to fight for Ukraine. Southern Front, Russian advances. Regarding the Southern Front, over the past 24 hours, we received an important video from the southern part of Zaporizhia. For the past 4 days, there have been continuous updates from this region, showing that Russian forces have established full control over FPV drone warfare in this area. Now, we also see that Russia has gained complete control over the region using Iskander missile systems. The video shows Russian forces discovering and targeting a concentration of Ukrainian troops from the 36th Marine Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Once the Ukrainian position was detected, the Russian military began their attack. Russia has launched Iskander missile strikes on Ukrainian territory. As a result of these attacks, Ukraine lost up to 20 armored vehicles and up to 20 transport vehicles, including both light and heavy types. Additionally, up to 15 pieces of military equipment were destroyed, and Ukraine suffered more than 100 casualties, including both wounded and killed soldiers. This is not the first Iskander missile strike in recent days. For example, yesterday, a video surfaced from the southern part of Sumy Oblast, showing a similar situation. First, Russian forces detected a concentration of Ukrainian troops and then launched an attack. However, the previous attack seen in another video was not an Iskander missile strike. Instead, it was a Tornado-S missile system using cluster munitions, demonstrating a completely different tactical approach. Regardless, Ukrainian forces, as seen in various videos, appear to be gathering troops along the Russian border, possibly reinforcing their positions. Meanwhile, Russia is actively working to disrupt these efforts. In the northern Kupiansk direction, Ukrainian forces are experiencing total panic. According to Ukrainian sources, Russian troops are completing their regrouping and preparing to resume offensive operations deeper inside the Kupiansk sector. The Russian objective is to capture 3 key settlements. Pavlivske, while the distance is significant, this is the primary target for Russian forces. Dvorikna, located west of the settlement of Zapadin, this is expected to be the next target in Russia's advance. Kivsharivka, located north of Kupiansk at the base of the R-79 highway, this settlement is a strategic location. If Russia captures Kivsharivka, it would completely cut off supply lines to northern Kupiansk, creating a major crisis for the Ukrainian armed forces in the Kharkiv region. This is why Ukraine is likely to launch a counteroffensive in the Vovchansk area and in settlements like Liptsy and Hlybok. Ukraine understands that if it loses these positions, Russian forces will have a higher chance of fully securing the Kupiansk sector. According to military analysts, if Russia breaches Ukraine's defensive belt in Kupiansk, its forces will likely continue their offensive towards Kharkiv, with the goal of linking up 2 Russian armies near Veliky Berlik. Now, let's discuss the Pavlivske direction. Russia continues to advance in the Dnipro region, but the situation in Pavlivske itself is more complex. According to various sources, in the past 24-48 hours, Ukrainian forces managed to retake control of the settlement Lysova. As of now, there is no official confirmation of this information. However, this is not the only location where Ukraine has counterattacked and regained lost ground. Another counteroffensive operation occurred in Pavlivske, in a small settlement southwest of the city. However, this operation was largely unsuccessful. A video from the area shows how Russian forces ambushed and destroyed Ukrainian vehicles as they attempted to enter the city. It appears that Ukrainian troops were trying to enter Pavlivske, take control of strategic buildings, and hold defensive positions. However, their vehicles were completely destroyed, and every Ukrainian soldier involved in the attack was killed. While this counterattack failed, the operation in Lysova was successful, which is noteworthy. For weeks, we have received multiple reports of Ukrainian counterattacks in the Kupiansk direction. However, now it is clear that Russian forces have shifted to a defensive posture in this region, while Ukrainian forces are launching their own counterattacks to reclaim lost ground. We should expect more updates from this region in the coming days. Meanwhile, Ukrainian sources have reported that, as of February 4, Russia has established full FPV drone control over the M30 highway. Although this information has not been independently confirmed, if accurate, it suggests that Russia has concentrated a large number of FPV drone operators equipped with fiber optic technology in this area. If confirmed, this means that Russia has effectively cut off two major supply routes leading from Ukraine's mainland to Pavlivske, not physically but through constant FPV drone attacks. In Pavlivske, we continue to see videos showcasing Russia's advanced use of fiber optic drones. This game-changing technology has yet to be fully adopted by the Ukrainian military. This concludes our update. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, love this video, and have a great day.